My name is Thalía Cataño. I am a double major in philosophy and Portuguese and minored in Chicano studies. So I think it was beneficial to me to be a Chicano studies minor student because I was very active on campus and in the community. And so sometimes, that conflicts with my studies, whether it's attending class or something. And I think, my Chicano studies professors are always a lot more willing to listen to what I was doing in the community and how I can incorporate that with my studies. I was able to do community work on my free time and also incorporate that into my studies. And so that really helped me to become more community involved. And so I was, very involved with, immigrant rights here in New Mexico, looking at, low-income communities, communities of color, and issues that are affecting us. Chicano studies, like I said, in my academic life was very important because it was that bridge for me, to get me to stop thinking about just a lawyer or a doctor, but start thinking about, maybe a community organizer. Coming in from high school and not really understanding what community work was, being able to sort of sit in a classroom and study it, experience it, come back, with my studies, and then also now, what I'm doing. I very much, take all that I learned in Chicano studies with me to my community work. Throughout my undergrad, I was, getting involved in community and the surrounding community. And so I thought that, again, being able to talk about that experience in my classes, was important for me and for my own development. Because I wasn't trying to go into corporate America or acquire, specific skills for that profession. I was, talking about community and community struggles and, coming together and fighting for something that, we wanted to do. And so that's what I'm currently doing. So I can talk a little bit about Somos un Pueblo Unido, which is where I work at. We started 1995. And again, it was this whole, we started seeing it from California, the whole anti-immigrant, English-only kind of laws being passed. And so it was this need to organize, right? To say, okay, there's a lot of, immigrants here, a lot of mixed immigrant families. We need to start organizing so that we don't get some of those laws here. And so it started off that we do, and we're known to do immigration rights. And we do, right? We do a lot of immigration rights. We've passed some legislation that has helped our communities here in New Mexico, driver licenses for all, regardless of social security number. We were one of the first states to pass in-state tuition and state financial aid for all students regardless of immigration status, right? So all students were sort of treated equally here in New Mexico, regardless of that. And now we focus a lot on, we always talk about it's not just, immigrant rights is not just one sort of thing, right? We're not just talking about having papers or not having papers. We're talking about, institutional racism. We're talking about, workers' rights and what that means in the context of, immigrant communities. So we focus a lot on workers and racial justice, So all that we do sort of falls in between those two things. I think it's important for colleges and universities to offer Chicano studies courses because, again, it's a different perspective, right? They're giving more of a holistic view about, our society here in the United States. To think that we all can subscribe to one narrative is kind of, I don't think that's the times anymore. I think people want and we want to know different perspectives, different struggles from their point of view, right? And giving everyone the platform to tell their own stories. I think that that's important. And I think, if we are truly talking about higher education, that's what it should be doing. Giving everyone a space to be able to talk about their own struggles, their own history, their own perspective, and then having a conversation about, what all that means in relation to each other.